welcome back to the channel, everybody. And today I'm doing a bunch of little projects that I need to get taken care of to get this car to the next stage, which would be paint. Most of it's going to be welding, so if you can't handle bright flashing lights, maybe this isn't the video for you. I just want to make sure that everybody watching is as safe as possible. I don't have any filters for my camera for welding shots, so you just have to bear with me. I have a couple patches on the front fender aprons, the inside aprons that need to get done. They're only about a couple inches square. Before I filmed this intro, I already welded up the taillight panel. I'll show you footage from that, as well as some of the package tray supports. It goes behind the rear seat. Other than that, I'm gonna have to pull the engine out. Probably won't happen during this video, but I'm gonna pull it out and finish the engine compartment, get it painted. That way, when it comes time to paint the rest of the body, I can have the engine and trans in, and it's just masked off, so I don't have to worry about it. I did have a contractor come out and give me a quote on putting a sub panel and 220 in the garage. That's a little outside of my financial standings, so we are going to attempt to paint this with a 30-gallon air compressor. It might not work, it might be a complete bust, and we might have to reassess once I lay some color on it, but that'll be down the road and you'll see it then. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll show you the progress that I've made thus far.
Alright, so here's the taillight panel. Got it. It's welded in. I do need to clean up a lot of pinholes that I had to fill, so I gotta clean these up. Clean up the welds. Nice part is this location, even though it's not the prettiest, the extensions do cover this, and you won't be able to tell. The spot welds down below here, there is a rear valance that covers those, but I am going to knock them down because they are a little raised. And then I got to clean this up. This will be smoothed out with some body filler on both sides, so hopefully when it's done and painted you won't see it. At least that's the hope. But same thing over here, got to clean these up, and then the extension will cover the majority of that. And then I did get the actual latch bracket, support bracket, welded in. So it was a little sketchy because I didn't pull the tank out of here, but it has been empty for like 3 years. So if you saw the filler neck when I was videoing, it is empty, and it has been for a while. But if you're doing this yourself, remove it. Also got the bumper brackets welded in. This one was actually already partially installed from a year ago, and I've been pushing this car off for so long, I just kind of neglected it. But got this welded in, and then welded the other side in as well, so those are in. So all that's really left is just clean everything up, and then throw some color on it, and throw the different panels in. And then on this side, I hit all this with 80 grit. I got bored, and I'm not the best body man, but still got some waves in here. But this was pretty dented and filled, and I mean filled, with body filler from whoever did the work before. And then I got this rocker extension installed. So I do have to go through, cut this out, and I think I talked about it when I filmed this, but got to go through, cut this out, and weld in the seam that's back in here because I cannot access that right now. And this is bent and mangled, so it probably wouldn't hurt to just get it replaced. But so this is what I'm talking about with the filler, or the patch panels I need to do. What do they call these? The fender aprons are 3 pieces, at least in this configuration. You can buy them as one piece. I just don't really want to dig it all out. I just want the car on the road, and that's more money and more time. So I'm just gonna patch what little bit of rust is there and try and clean it up as much as possible. So what you're seeing is actually the panel underneath. They overlap, and then they were spot welded together. I just cut out the rust, and I'm just gonna throw a patch over top. And I'll take you over to the other side because I have that one prepped already. Alright, and there's what the patch looks like. Just took a piece of paper, took my dirty finger, kind of got myself an outline, cut it out with a pair of scissors, traced it out on the sheet, cut it out, and final fit it with the flat disc. It's not perfect, and frankly, I am not overly worried about it. I'm not looking concourse perfection here. These down the road, I would like to do, this is stock geometry suspension, I would like to do like a Rod and Customs Mustang 2 front suspension, which would get rid of the spring bucket, it would go coilovers and all that, and I figure when I do that, engine and trans will have to be out again anyway, and I'll just go from the firewall all the way forward and just replace all of this sheet metal. If you are working on a classic Mustang and you are thinking about doing something like that, be advised. I can't remember which side it's on. I think it's this side. About here on the inner fender apron usually is the VIN number for the car stamped into it. As you can see, somebody already replaced this before me and didn't bother to save that VIN number. Usually what they do is they'll cut it out and then scab it into the new apron. Previous owner did not do that. So really the only thing telling me what this car is the tag on the door, which could have very well been from a different car. But it is registered, it is licensed, so, and it is insured, so I don't really have to worry about it. It's just when I go to, if I ever were to go sell this car, it would be very difficult to get any money out of it. So, but it's not going anywhere, so I'm not worried. But yeah, so if you're going to be doing this on your car, make sure that you save this VIN number. Don't throw it away. I think it's just 65 through 68. I think 69. They moved to having it part of the dash, but don't quote me on that. Could have been later on. Then one other thing. So I was getting wet when I was driving this thing, and I couldn't figure it out. When I finally got the fenders and everything off, there was a big old rust hole in this corner right here. So this looks, honestly, it is not my best work. And my main issue was on this corner, there's some bronze filler. So if you don't know, bronze filler and weld don't mix very well. So it did not take, this is usually just overlapped anyway, as you can see, and then there was like seam sealer. So I'll probably go back over this with either fiberglass reinforced filler or aluminum filled filler, something to build up that surface and get it all smooth. But this, again, this is going to be covered with the fender, and then there's a stainless steel trim piece that goes around the windshield. So realistically, you'll never even see this once the car's done. But I'll go back with it with filler, get it all nice and smooth, and really make sure that you can't tell. So that got that one fixed already, and I do have footage for it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get started on these two patches, and then I do have to finish welding up that support for the package tray. Those are a really big pain because they're really thin, but yeah, I'll have to do that next. So I'll get you set up so you can watch this, and I'll get my welder set up so we can get going. All right, so I'm gonna walk you through my process. I got this from, what's his name? Carl Fisher? Anyway, Make It Custom. A gentleman up in Canada does some really cool custom work, and he's all self-taught, so check him out. But what he uses cardstock. I actually stole this from my woman's office upstairs. Anyway, cardstock, thicker than regular paper, just a little bit more durable. But basically, I just cut out something slightly larger than the patch I need. Kind of hold it down, and I kind of find the dirty part of the car, get some dirt on my finger. My hands are relatively clean because I've only been out here today for about as long as it took me to weld that panel. And then I just find the edge, and I just kind of rub it. You can kind of see the perimeter of the patch show up. And this gives me a rough idea of what I need, and then I'll fine tune it once I get the patch cut out. So it's just some of the tiniest little scissors I have ever seen, but it's all I can find. So anyway, go ahead and cut it out. There you go. That's roughly the patch. Alright, so then I'll take my patch here, or my template, and I'll just trace it out on some sheet steel. My suggestion is, if you have the ability to go to a metal yard, if you have one local to you, you use them. Don't do what I do and go to the big box store like Home Depot or Lowe's, because it is exponentially more expensive for the same piece of steel from them. So if you can go to a local metal yard, use them. And there you go. That's the patch. And I'll test fit it and probably have to finagle it. But more or less that's gonna work.
Alright. Little skim coat, body filler, and you'll never know. Well, at least that's the hope. But yeah, both patches done. Nice. Taillight panel. It was probably 2 years ago when I did this originally, and I never touched it again. But again, the only way to get this trunk pan in one singular piece is you gotta either do it two ways. You got two ways of doing it. You can cut it along in here, make it small enough that it'll fit within the entrance of the trunk, or you cut out the old taillight panel and basically slide it in this way. The old taillight panel is actually still sitting over in the corner. I was thinking of doing like a wall art, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what I decide to do with that down the road. But as you can see, I got it tied in. Again, all this was done 2 years ago, but I never did the bottom lip where it actually attaches to the trunk floor, and I never did
where it attaches to where the trunk latch goes. So, gotta go through here, just make some spot weld holes all along the bottom here, weld them up, and then pretty much that's it. I got to do spot welds up here and get that tied in, because this gets sandwiched in between the two. So that'll probably be the first thing that I do, get this in, get it plug welded in place, get it welded here, and then work the bottom. The other thing, which you can see, I started over here. I actually kind of did this yesterday when I was screwing around. But this is actually the bumper bracket. That's 2-year-old weld, and this is fresh. But I gotta put it in over here. So as you can see, one thing is not like the other. So I got that piece sitting somewhere in one of those tubs over there. So easy enough. Anyway, I'm gonna get working on this and bring you in for explanation and close up later on. Anyway, so went through here, got all these little spot weld holes drilled. Not these big ones, these are actually attachments for the rear valance, but the little ones. I like to do these really hot, so this will actually burn back slightly, which is why I went with the smaller hole. That way I'm not chasing it, but all the way across. I'll just go through, put a pair of vice grips on each side, zap it in, and work my way across. shit.
Holy cow. Alright, so that was it's a lot of work. I was doing the editing, and I mean it's probably 2.5, 3 hours of between welding and grinding and making the patch panels and all that. Trying to condense it down into a video that is appealing is not very easy. So trying to keep it down to about a 30-minute, 35-minute video. We'll see where this one ends up when it's all said and done. But we did get a lot done. Patches on the fender aprons, good to go. The cowling, good to go. Taillight panel is actually
done. As you can see, I'll turn you around here real quick. I actually kind of threw the extensions on just to kind of get a look. Obviously this is not final fit, so, but all the spot welds are all down. Everything is looking pretty good. I'm really excited. The back of the car actually kind of looks like a back of a Mustang. So progress is progress, even though it feels like it wasn't a lot. That patch is done. These two patches done. Again, not concourse, but good enough. I still got a lot of paint to strip. Still got the roof. Still got this. Got to remove the quarter glass. Got to remove the ornament panels. I got floor panel stuff. I got floor panels that still need to be completely welded in. That whole transmission tunnel hump needs to get finished. All the little drill holes where the zip screws were keeping everything aligned, those need to get plugged up. Still a lot of work to do, but it's progress, and that's what matters. So next video, I'm not even sure where I'm going to go with it. Probably engine out and work the firewall and get this whole engine compartment painted nice flat black, and that way I can permanently install the engine and trans and leave it there while I finish the rest of the body and get it primered. That way it's done. And then it'll be get the doors back on, get the windows, windshield, the rear glass in, get the EFI wired in, get fuel system ran. I might just drive this thing primer just to get it going, just so I have some motivation to get this thing finished. So yeah, stay tuned. We are making a lot of headway. Still got a long way to go, but we're getting there. So stay tuned. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, hit subscribe. If you like the videos and haven't checked out the rest, check those out. If you do like the videos, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and let me know what you think. Let me know what you would do differently with the car. I mean, the cool thing about something like this, with older cars like this, it's a blank slate. Like, you can do pretty much anything you want. You could LS swap it with a T56, you could throw a Hemi in it. Like, it's just, at this point, it is just a chassis. So let me know what kind of wild ideas go through your mind when you think of an old school classic hot rod. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Thanks for hanging out.